This is a review and fitting of the Forest 2-seater 4-foot garden bench. The good lady bought it from Argos to replace our other one, which has just about had it. Forest, if I recall, have been going for about 49 years. They're based down in Worcester. The bench comes very well packaged with corner protectors and banding to keep it all together in transport, and weighing in, I think, at around about 15 kilograms. The products are all pressure treated and have a 15-year anti-rot protection for the timber, which I think is all imported from Poland. There's no instructions with the bench, although it is very simple to put together. So these are the corner protectors that were on the bench under the strapping. They are quite good. They come in quite handy as well, actually, for doing other packaging and other jobs. As I mentioned, there are no instructions with the bench, but it is simple to put together. That's the Forest 15-year warranty, the anti-rot guarantee, I should say, for the 4-foot bench. So it does come with 6 bolt and barrel nuts and an Allen key, and also it comes with 4 star drive 50mm screws. Now the star drive, I would imagine not many home DIYers have a star drive, so I'm not opting for those. I do have star drive, but I don't find that those at 50mm are suitable, so I'm going for zinc plated hardened 60mm screws with a PZ2 head, the Phillips head. Just sort of lay the bench out a bit and just get an idea before I put it together. There's the bench just laid out on the floor for now. And say it's fairly easy to put together. The back has got 4 dowels at either end, so it's easy to locate, as those will locate in the holes pre-drilled, and then they'll obviously be fixed via the centre with the bolt and barrel. The front plinth is the same. It's also got dowels in, and it'll also be secured with the bolt and barrel. The plinth is directional. I've noticed it's offset, so there's actually only one way that you can put it in. I think that way up at the moment is the wrong way, but the seat as well, that can only go in one way. As it sits in at the back here, there's a recess on the timber just to go under that curve of the front of the bench, so that'll fit in quite nicely. So the next instalment will be putting it together if the weather decides to dry up. Otherwise I might just put it together inside the house. Just installed the barrel nuts, so it's worth mentioning, just to make sure you install it with the slot facing out, so you can put the screwdriver in it to turn it to make sure that you've got the thread upright, ready for the bolt. And also the holes, just make sure that they're all cleaned out before you try and install them. Some of them are a bit deep, so make sure you don't push the barrel nut too far in, because they are a bit of a devil to get back out. And as I say, we'll just put this one in. So he needs straightening up, just like that. And what I tend to do is I can pop the bolt in behind, push the bolt nut up until it touches the bolt, make sure it's still vertical, the thread's vertical, just lift the bolt out and then just gently push it in until the thread appears in the hole. There we go. That's in. So just give it a little bit of a wiggle, just to make sure it's nice and square. As I say, they are quite tight, so none of these should fall out. Sometimes you get them and they're very loose and they just drop out, so you can put them in when you've actually put your frame together. But these I'm doing beforehand. And say all the others are done now. All the holes are cleaned out. With the barrel nuts all in and all lined up in the correct place, it's time to put the bench together. Put the end of the bench on the floor. There's no bolts in it, so I'm going to first start off by putting the back in. Get that lined up. They are going to need a little bit of a tap. They are quite tight. And put the seat in, offer the seat up. And bear in mind there's the recess which goes in behind the front. There's the front plinth. Get that lined up. As I say, it does only go in one way, so make sure it's flush with the seat. The seat should rest on there for a minute. Just tap that home. There we go. They are quite tight actually. A bit tighter than I'd have expected it to be, but it's not a bad thing. The dowels all add to the strength as well. Now offering the end up, this end, just make sure that everything is all square before you tap it home. Don't want to knock or break any of the dowels off. There we go. That's fine. A nice flat piece of wood. Give it a tap. Give it a tap, give it a tap. That's pretty much together. This wants a bit more of a tap. Make sure nothing's captured. That's home. That's near the end. There we go. That's all in. Now bear in mind the barrel nuts may have moved, so they might just need adjusting up before you can tighten them up, so don't force the bolts in if they won't go. That's one. That one's good. That one on that. Slip them up, don't do them over tight. There we go. could put the screws in on the slats, but I'm going to do the other end first, make sure it's all nice and square. So we can do this end as is on the floor. There we go. So if you haven't got Allen keys, keep hold of this one. The bench over time, these will need just a little bit of adjustment. It could dry out a bit in the summer and they'll come a bit loose, but don't over tighten them because you'll end up splitting the wood when it expands again in the winter. Yeah, see, that will go up a little bit more yet. So will that. There's another couple of mil for it to pull up yet. There we go. So now just leave the seat. Make sure the seat's tight before you put the screws in. I'll put the screws in now. And as I said before, I'm using 60mm zinc plated. The anti-corrosion is a lot better, and because of that bit longer, they're going to go into the wood a little bit further. The other ones I just wasn't comfortable with, they wouldn't go in far enough. By the time these are in, they're going to be going into that cross member halfway, which is ample, whereas the others were barely going a quarter of the way. Just hold on to the seat to make sure it's tight. There we go. And the two floor, we can do that from here. These screws are actually self-cutters as well. There we go. There are a few splits in the wood. There's a split on the bottom of the back, and there is a split through the front of the arm there. It doesn't go all the way through. It's not unusual for wood. There's another split under the arm there. They're quite long splits, but wood will split over time anyway. And there we have it. The Harvington 4-foot bench from Forest.